Hello everyone, good morning. Am I audible?
Very low in Pune at least.
Okay. Is it fine now?
Yeah, much better.
Everywhere it's fine? Yes. Okay. So very good morning, and I would like to welcome to the Unfold UI, the first session of the day. Okay, question to audience. So what do you think this snippet is taken from which web page? This is a part of which page? IRCTC, right? Okay, another one. This one? Yeah, nice. I'm not hearing from other offices. Okay, right. It's a ThoughtWorks page for LinkedIn.
Okay. So what do you think this web page is from? The snippet of this web page?
Come on, little bit tricky. Able to identify?
Not Glassdoor?
No.
Stack Overflow.
No.
Nope.
Any other idea? Okay, we'll give you another hint.
Okay, another hint. Yeah, this one.
Right. So this is a ThoughtWorks page on GitHub. So why do you think we identify these? Why do we think we identify these pages? Like earlier one IRCTC, LinkedIn, now we are able to get, like, this is a page from GitHub. Any thoughts? Design. Like, I know the topic has already been introduced as design systems, rather other than design maybe. Like generally, why do you visit a web page more often? Bookmark a page. Okay, because it creates some sort of an impression on you, right? And like if it's an impression, you prefer that web page over to their competitors. So we are going to talk about how to create such impression, and one of the reason is design systems. And we are talking about sensible defaults in design systems. Hi everyone, I am Priyanka. I am a developer in ThoughtWorks.
Hello everyone, I'm Rajendra Satpathe and I'm a developer in ThoughtWorks.
All right, so it's a very quick and simple agenda. We are going to talk about design systems. What are the design systems? Why we use the design systems? Then we'll talk about the available design systems in the market, the choices we have. And then we are going to talk about sensible defaults. Simple. We'll try to wrap up soon, but yeah, this is the agenda. So, okay, what is a design system? All right, have anybody used design system or are using a design system right now? Okay.
Anyone from
other
Gurgaon or
office?
Pune office?
No one has any design systems in Pune office? All right. Yes, I saw someone raising hand. Okay. From Gurgaon? It's okay. So we somehow or somewhere might have used design systems or might be using a design systems in future. So I can say what a design system
just
is.
A second. Can you hear the audience from Pune?
No, Vishal, we could not.
Can you talk? Can you hear now?
No, Vishal, I can only hear you. Check the mic once.
Can you hear us now? In the Zoom? No.
Is it audible now?
Very blurry, echoing sort of a thing. Can you just say once again?
Hello.
Okay, I'll use my mic then. Yeah. So there's one person who wants to add to what is design system. So I'm adding the mic over here. Hey,
Please go ahead.
Sorry, the question was what is design system, right? So we are building, we build design systems. So
Hello. Hey.
Vishal, we're not able to hear you. Clearly.
Hello. Hey. Hello. Hey.
Yeah, it's fine now. Maybe you
Vishal,
have to keep the mic closer.
Yeah, and Vishal, whenever you speak, we are only able to listen to you, but probably not others. Is there something that you have along?
Hello.
Yeah, it's audible. Just keep the mic closer to you.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. So continuing from where we left off, design system is about consistency and building that pattern. Apart from that, reflecting brand, and it's more about also having that visual hierarchy and just making sure that, irrespective of platform, that brand and consistency is maintained.
Okay, you talk about, I guess, patterns, some styles and brand, right? More or less there. So I can say very briefly what a design system is when many people are working together for a longer period of a time to make something complicated. Like just a general definition. Fair? I'm not talking about right now style guide, any pattern library or anything. Okay. So let's talk about how design system emerged. So this is a spread from 10 books on architecture by Virtuvius. This is a very old and very good example, relevant example, which many architecture students are also referring to. Many rules and principles are being applied for the current in the modern design systems. If we go next, this is a NASA graphic standard manual, which the designers used for branding, for basically putting style guides. And after that, this library comes Bootstrap. So when we talk about Bootstrap, many people consider this as a design system. Like, is Bootstrap a design system? So it's a very popular HTML, CSS, and JS framework. And then Google launches material design. I think many people now uses material design, not in Google, but outside, like other developers and designers. So what is a design system? Like, it's a style guide, pattern library, framework, CSS framework, or a design, like what is it? So I can say, like, it's a misconception to consider like it's a style guide or pattern library. All of these are parts of that big ecosystem, right? Okay, so in essence, a design system and ecosystem of rules, constraints, and principles intended to handle design at scale using reusable components and patterns. Okay, so what is rules, constraints, and principles? If we take color for an example, the rules could be like must pass the color contrast ratio as 4 ratio to 5 ratio to 1. Like for better accessibility and readability. The constraints should be like the color should be chosen from the color palette. And principles, possibly color should be used in a meaningful way. Right? For an example here, this is a flash message coming. So the foreground and the background color, it's easily like readable. The light, the red color shows like it's a danger, brings attention of a user, like is something which I need to pay attention. And red is one of the color from the color palette. So see how rules, constraints, and principles are used to create this flash message, like for this component. So parts of a design system. So there are aesthetic and non-aesthetic parts. Like if I talk about aesthetic parts, which we see and feel, like it's on the bottom layer, there are typography, colors, spacing, which constitutes a style guide. And then there are components which uses this typography, colors, and spacing. On top of component, there are pages which uses multiple components. We use multiple components to create a page. Page layouts can also be again a component. And then there are interaction models, like how different pages interact with each other. Voice and tone, words, Like, shall I use a title case or uppercase in a button? If I got an error, like the message should be, oops, there is an error, like funny message, or something like, I'm not in a mood, I just want some relevant message. So those are the things like which come in voice and tone. Then there are important layer, which is like non-aesthetic part, which drives those design patterns, design principles. There are guidelines, how to use it. There are documentation. So those are also a part of a design system. Before jumping to why we use a design system, I would like to highlight an atomic design, which is currently very much popular methodology to create any design system. It gives a structured approach. So this is created by Brad Fost. And as we see, atoms, molecules, organism, it's using an analogy of a chemistry. So what is an atom? Like it's a very smallest element from the periodic table, right? Example, oxygen, hydrogen. Likewise, in our UI, atom could be the button, what we see, the label, the form element, the text box. Those is an atom, which is having own characteristics and properties. Then after atom, there is a molecules, like which combine multiple atoms together to create a molecule, like 2 parts of hydrogen combined with 1 part of oxygen to give a molecule which has its own characteristics, like water, right? So when we combine here, the button, the text box, and the label, we create a search molecule. Then there is an organism. When multiple molecules or molecules plus atoms or different organisms combined together, there is an organism. Organism has its own life cycle. Likewise, in UI, if we see in this header, there is a search bar molecule, then there are menu, it might be atoms, and then there is an icon. It constitutes a header. And header remain consistent in all the pages of a website, right? It has its own life cycle. Then there is a template. Template is something which is not there in chemistry, and we are talking in the web layout. So templates is a blueprint how your page would look like. Like I would put blueprints like here it should be an header, then there is an image, then there are content. And pages could be an instance of a templates. Like a actual page that we see on our browser, right? Okay, now just wake up. Can you tell me what are the atoms in this page? This is a ThoughtWorks Facebook page. What could be possibly the atoms here? Button, text box. Typography will take it up later, but title, yes. Anyone from other offices? Atoms. Okay, molecules. What we can see, identify molecules in this page.
We also know the answer.
Vishal, we are not able to hear you properly.
I cannot sit. So I think the Pune audience is also replying in the same way.
Molecules, anyone? Cards. The about card, the ThoughtWorks card, fine. Cards is something which you are talking, this as a whole, this card, or the about card, the postcard. It could possibly, I can say it's an organism, like you can replicate multiple organisms on a page, fine, right? And you'll see it's been arranged in certain template. You see the header on the top, like the company description. Then there is an about section, and then there are posts. And you see it's a page there. So if we can see, so the red one highlighted possibly are the atoms. The purple one, like it could be a molecule. Organism is one such header, and another post that what we are talking about. And the template is with this page has been arranged like top, then there is an header, left hand side about, right side post for the post. And then we have defined a page. Any questions here? Okay.
Vishal, was there any question from Pune side?
Not as of now.
Yeah, there's one.
Any questions?
From Gurgaon as well.
Yeah, Pune has a question. So the question is, how do you differentiate between a template and a page?
Okay. Template is something which we actually not see. Like it's a blueprint. Like we architect like a house maybe. Like it's a blueprint on the page. Like my header should be on top. My post section like should be on the right hand side. My about is left. And we put certain organisms on top of the templates, which are the organisms built from atoms and molecules. And then we create the whole page according to the blueprint which has been defined as a template.
Yeah, all good here.
Sure. I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, good.
Kind of like maybe a class as a template and okay, sure. So question was, what is the difference between template and a page?
So
Yes.
one of the suggestions from Bangalore was, can we map a template to a virtual identity and a page to a physical identity? Yeah.
So template we can assume as a class and page as an object, like instance of it. Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's quickly go through why we use design systems. Like design system has been used by everyone, like designers, developers, product owners. So it helps us in synchronizing everyone at the same place. And they are working towards like your company values, identity. So I can say collaboration, consistency. Like if we use a design system, a customer will get a consistent look and feel on the page. If a new feature has been launched, he or she knows like how to navigate. You don't have to worry about that. The customer will get a rich user experience when he is on your page. Speed, yes, as components are already there, you just need to import and you can reach to market sooner. Scale, when multiple teams are working together, design systems can act as a single source of truth. And multiple teams can work and pick up, like if I need to use a button or I need to use certain component, they'll just pick it from the design system and use it to implement their feature. The quality, yes, there are two parts. Like as multiple teams are using, they might be testing their components which are already there in the design systems. And if a new feature is coming in, you don't have to write from scratch. Just take it from there and create. So you have to take care testing at the component level only. Okay, with this, I would like to welcome Rajendra, who will take us to the quick demo and available design systems.
Cool. Thank you, Priyanka. So I'll just give you a quick overview on how a design system can be visualized.
Rajendra, can you speak a little loudly, please?
What was that, Vishal?
Can you speak a bit loudly?
Yeah, sorry. So now we will go through how a design system can look for a organization. Now, before this, actually, there is a lot of pre-work, a lot of research. There are rounds of blueprinting, templates, and then actually creating a design system. And this is the result of that. So this is a storybook from Carbon Design System. So here we can see what are all the different components the Carbon Design System has, or let's say a button, how a button should look, the guidelines around that, what are the props, what are the different types of buttons that we need to use. Let's say this is the default button in any scenario, you should use that. But if there is a destructive action, let's say, then there should be a danger button. Like a user wants to delete their account or a user wants to log out. Now, this is the danger button, right? And this is the guideline. Or a ghost button, it's a silent one. or icon button, secondary button. There is one primary button to sign in, or one primary button to register, a secondary button to log in, those kind of actions. Okay, and the design system in place actually sets all these guidelines for each of the components. And here, it's not just developers who is looking at this, it's also the designers or the product teams can access this. Okay. So again, this is not just for developers. Yeah, it might look that this is a very tricky website, but all the other product team as well can access this. Designers, managers, or any QAs or anyone. They can just see, okay, let's say there is, you are developing one web page and user is trying to log out from the app, but developer set the button to default. But guidelines says this is a danger button. It should be in red. So this is the reference for everyone to follow. Okay, what is the design system says? What fits in this scenario? Cool. Okay, so let's go through what are the available design systems in market. But before that, we need to consider some points. And while going through all these design systems, we can check all the design systems according to these points, if it fits or not. Okay. Now, there are many organizations who are making their design systems public, but does that mean you can really use it or you can extend it? Right. So you need to know what are the licenses that a design system has. Is it open source? Even if it is an open source, is it Apache 2.0 license, BSD license, or MIT license? All those things you need to consider. Again, what is the warranty that they are giving? All those things. Then the platform. When we say, okay, design system, many might just align that to web apps. But it's not just web apps. We have mobile apps as well. Some organization can have a desktop app. Any platform wherever you have a design system usable. You need to identify what are your platforms. Testability and ease of use. Now, there is a design system in place, but if you are not able to test it, if you are not able to see that, then it will be very hard to decide if the design system is actually being used properly or not.
So Vishal, are you, Vishal, if you're not, you have a question, Vishal?
Okay.
Not really.
Let's continue. So then the next point is customizability. Now, whenever you are using a design system, you are using their brand as well. Do you want to customize it? And how far do you want to go with customizations? Are you able to easily customize that design system? Is also one point. Next one is build size. So design system, whenever you are using a design system, the design system also gives us libraries, right? And what is the size of that library? Whenever, let's say for web page, the first time when the web page is loading, all the bundles are downloaded. And that also determines the first time to load for the page, ultimately performance as well. That is also one point to consider. So it is not just, and these are not the only points. There might be more points as well, depending on the organizations or teams which are using or trying to create new designs. Okay. So
any quick question?
Thank you. So just sharing my experience on the license part, is a framework, design system called Polaris, which is built by Shopify.
Yeah.
So it's a free to use, but only if you are building an app which can be hosted on the Shopify. Otherwise, you're not allowed to use.
Yeah.
So always the safer solution is the MIT license. If you go with the MIT license, it's always safer. And as you mentioned, as per the organization, in the past, we have seen some of the organization, correct? They do some legal communication. Try to change the license as per them.
Cool. Thanks for the comment. That was very, very useful.
Thank you so much.
We actually can't hear anything in phone, so we need to speak a bit loudly or come closer to
Are you able to hear Rajendra clearly? or the I mean,
So in Gurgaon, it was audible.
Okay, never mind. I think we'll repeat it again.
Vishal, what we've done in Gurgaon, we've amplified the volume to double. That's what we did.
Let me check. You folks can continue.
thank you, Vishnu.
Thank you. And thanks for that. It gave us a really good example for us as well. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Then let's go ahead with the design systems available in the market. So first one is very popular material design system. It is provided by Google. Now, every design system has their principles, the pillars to design their own design system. So material design system is inspired on the physical world, its textures, how they reflect the light, shadows, all these things. Okay. Now, if you go to material design website, they have all their principles explained, how they shadows or icons or typography is provided. So yeah, so let's say the type system. Now how the typography works here, or the color, what is the color palette, the icons, the system icons, or the product icons, all these things. And there are principles around this as well. Okay, so material design system explains this very well. They have a really good set of document, and they have their own icon library, component library as well, where you can try out. Okay, on the material design system, they have their different licenses on different platforms. On Android and iOS, they have Apache 2.0. On Flutter, they have BSD license, and on web, they have MIT license. Now, all these means you can use Google material design system, and you can use it commercially as well. Okay. So now testability, right? The platforms are iOS, Android, Flutter, web. On the testability front, so you can just check all the components from the material design system. How does the accordion look? The chips, buttons, the table, text field, all these things, and combine how the page can look. Sorry for that. Okay, and customizability. You can customize the material design according to your needs. It just on the theme level you can change. Let's say I am reducing the border radius. Right now the buttons have the round corners or edges, and after saving this, those are sharp. Right. At the theme level itself, you can customize the material design system. Now this is very useful, right? So next one we have is Carbon design system. Carbon design system is by IBM. So again, their pillars are: Carbon is open, it is inclusive, modular, flexible, puts the user first. The design system is implemented to put the user first rather than the organization itself, and builds consistency. All the other products in IBM use Carbon design. They have the consistency across the apps. Now, when you go into Carbon design systems page, they also mention what are the platforms they support. Again, Carbon is open source. Now, when you go through their design system, they also explain how their design system works. The typography, they mention which are the fonts they use, what are the scales, the font weight, and all those things according to the needs. Again, like grids, how the grids will look. All these things you can find on each of the design systems page. Now, this is the documentation. What Priyanka was talking about is also required. It is also part of design system. Okay, and this is how anyone, either from product team or of the people like us, can look at how the design system works, right? Now, testability and customization. The Carbon's design system also has their own style storybook where they list out all the components, like the example that I gave for buttons, or maybe a date picker, right? So date range or multiple say, the simple date picker, simple with layer, all these styles you can check on the Carbon design system. Again, this is a public website. And the testability, Carbon design system also has their builder app where you can put on the grid, you can change the styles, add some text here, add the custom CSS. Let's say I'm changing this to 60 and the header weight changed, right? Font size changed to 60. Now, after this, if you want to export this, you have this option for exporting the code as well, either in Angular, React, just as a JSON, or just an image. You can, if you are working on React, you can directly download this template. Maybe it's not the static page. You might want to make it dynamic. So you can just consider this as a template and update the same template according to your need. But it will give you an easy start. Okay. Then next one we have is Fluent. Fluent design system is by Microsoft. Again, their pillars are it should look natural on every device. The design system itself, the user should not use their intelligence. It should be intuitive and powerful, and engaging and immersive. The physical world is the vocabulary. Okay. Now, if you go on the Fluent's website itself, they mention what are their principles, how they designed it, and what are their platforms. So Fluent design system supports web, Windows OS, iOS, Android, Mac OS, and cross-platform. Cross-platform is React Native also. Okay. Now, like any other design system, Fluent also has their design system explained. What are the colors, templates? Again, in each scenarios, like in the products, what are the color palettes? What are the neutral colors? What are the shared ones? According to personas and groups, how the color should look like. The iconography, typography, their weights, sizes, all these things. Those are explained properly. Also, they have their components as well explained, like how the basic inputs look, the buttons and all, how at what composition, how the button should look. Like it is a default button, it is a compound button, common button, split button, all these things, the labels, how they should look. Cool. So if you go on particular design systems website, you can navigate through their pages and look at how the design system works. Again, if you want to test out, so this Fluent's theme designer only provides color changes, but yeah, it's not much scope for changing the typography and all in itself, like we have for Carbon design system or material design system. But you can test out the components. Again, Fluent design system is open source. Now we have Atlassian design system. Their pillars are open company, no bullshit, build with heart and balance, don't mess up with the customers, play as a team, and be the change you seek. Now, again, they have their own set of typography, the grid system, color palette, and the icons. Now let's go through the Atlassian system. If you land on this, you will find their principles, how the design system is built and all. And they have their design system explained as well. What are the buttons, how the typography and all looks like. You can see in the button, what are the examples, the default ones, the other variants, the primary button, subtitle button, link, all these things. You can just go ahead and check how the design system looks. Design system, Atlassian design system is not completely open source. They have their own design guideline. So they have some parts in Apache 2.0 and some part in Atlassian design guide. Now, if we compare, so you see Material design system is mostly open source. Carbon design system open source. Fluent design open source. The platforms material design and fluent design supports multiple platforms, and material and carbon design systems are easy to test. Material design system has high customizability, and the build size you can check. So the build size here are mentioned only for one of the repos. There might be different, let's say material design system supports Android, iOS, Flutter as well, but we have not mentioned all the package sizes. It is just an example of how we can check the package size. So these are taken from NPM repository. You can see the Fluent Design Systems package size is 33.1 MB unpacked, and Material Design System is 5.96. So this can make a huge difference. Okay. Now, there are some other design systems as well. You can look. So we just went in detail for these design systems, but let's say Neopop is one design system by CRED. They also have defined their design system, how the typography, icons, colors, and all look, how their components look. There are Apple's human interface guideline. This is mostly used in Apple platforms like macOS, iOS. If you are developing apps for those platforms, you'll use this mostly. Again, Polaris by Shopify. Here mentioned that Polaris license doesn't allow you to use the Polaris design system openly. You need to use that design system only when you are hosting that web page on the Shopify domain. Okay. Then the Lightning design system by Salesforce. This is you'll see this constant design system in all the Salesforce apps. Right. Now I'll hand over to Priyanka. She will walk you through the sensible defaults. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rajendra, for giving such a brief understanding of all the design systems. So what do you think? Like, what are the sensible default? Can select now. Actually, there is no silver bullet to select any design system. Every design system has been built using their own company organization like principles and values. You can, of course, choose one. That again depends upon your need, what you need to do according to your organizations. Different parameters has been mentioned like license, support, platform.
Again, like Bernie said, it is a series of sensible decisions and then the sensible default.
True. So according to your use case, this could possibly your timeline. You can adopt any design system, like the available design system in your market according to your needs, or you can create your new. And in between, you can either do both by adapting. So let's see what things like what adopt use case offers. Like if your project is like smaller and you have to go quickly to market, adopt would be the good use case. You can adopt any design systems according to your need and adopt to your product so that you can reach to market sooner. All the components are readily available. You can test it there and import it. And the things that you need to care of, put all your business logics and your organization, like change some like themes, typography or colors. So, but the challenges are there is very low levels of customization. You have to choose whatever there is available. You can't create new, like put all your own imagination. Again, the use case possibly could be faster time to market, can like cover for short-term projects, new projects. But we have to consider the point, right? You might lose your organization brand and identity. If like some of the design systems that what we have discussed, material is a good design systems according to the features, the libraries, the support that it provides. Many companies are using it to build their product on top of it. So it's a good design system to consider when you are also going to multi-platforms. And then again, but if you use a material design system somewhere, right, your page might look Google-ish, like going like how different Google pages looks like. If you don't want to do that, you can also consider carbon design systems, which is again like a very good like support system it provides. So my project, I'm working in Bamni and it's an open source project. We are using carbon design system. Another option, another extreme side is you can create your own design systems. Every organization is doing that, as other like by Cred, Atlassian, like every organization, according to their brand, according to their identity, they are creating a new design system. But it's like a slow process. But as soon as it's been a great process, every team, every member can maintain that design system. It comes with initial time and money. You need to research some things, but it comes with good brand identity, high level of customization. There is no dependency on other design systems. Tools and frameworks which could be used like Figma, Sketchbook, which just Rajendra has shown, Adobe XD, and there are other tools and frameworks to create your own design system. Again, it depends upon your organization need and your project needs.
Yeah, and there is one more point in creating new. So let's say your project is already in the market, your app is already launched, and you want to continue with that brand. So you can create your own design system out of that existing product. So there are some components already used. You just need to put it in the atomic design pattern, create all the components, molecules, organism, and then you can define your own design system out of that.
Creating you can happen both at developer side and designer side. As mentioned, developer can also create a generic components and designers can also create a design. And eventually you can have your own new design system.
Okay, then there is a middle point where we want to customize an existing design system. We don't want to invest a lot of time. So this customization gives you a brand differentiation. When you are using an existing design system, you have some pillars already, and you can start faster. You don't have to put a lot of time in doing a lot of research and all. But when you are starting with customization, we were at a point where is a break point of whether a customization is good or creating a new design system itself is good. Because you might face this in one project, like, okay, I'm making so many design changes, customizations to the existing design system, that now I feel, okay, I would have started with the new design system itself from my side. So just identify that breakpoint, when that breakpoint will come, and according to that, we can make the decision. And when we are starting for the customization, we also need to identify where we are starting for customization. Someone might say, okay, from development itself, we can start customization, but no, you need to identify the phase. Is it at the very early stage of the product? Is it at the designer's stage itself, or at the implementation stage? Identify where you want to start customizing. And this is also a good use case where there is already an app in the market which is already using one design system, and you want to now convert, customize that to just add a bit of brand identity. Now, in that case as well, this customized approach is very good. Now, according to now we have multiple design systems in market, right? And if you want to start with a new project and you want to have a custom brand identity in that new project itself, we can use material design system. Now, like I showed here in the demo, right? Let me.
Like Rajendra, maybe we'll show like how we can do customization on top of a material design.
So this is the default material design system looks like. Cool. Now, if you want to change the typography, let's say I want to use Roboto only, or I want to use Montserrat. Now the font completely changed. Cool. Or the color palette. I don't want to use this color palette. For primary, I want to use maybe a greenish shade. Cool. Or on the secondary, I want to use somewhat bluish shade, let's say. Yep. So according to these, the components will change. Or let's say I want to add one more snippet, maybe I want to add spacing, and I want to double this spacing. I'm saving this. The spacing changed, right? Or the border radius. Right now, the buttons have a slightly smooth corners. Now, border radius is 4. I want to nullify the border radius itself. Now the edges are sharp. Or if I want to make it completely round, I can do it here. So when you are starting with one design system, material design system is a good start. You can start by using vanilla material design system itself. And at the theme level, you can make all these customizations. Right. So you don't have to go into a length of like CSS updates and all those things unless it is required.
You have just customized a design system and make it work. It might be useful for your project, but yeah, so it's very easy, right? Everything like is provided by a design system.
Yep. Okay. So any questions still? No?
Yeah.
Actually, one of the design systems that I like is that of Amazon website. Do we know what design system is that?
I'm not sure if that's
like a soft everything. If when you click, it's like a soft thing that happens, right?
I'm not sure if Amazon has publicly mentioned their design system. They might be having their own design system, but I'm not sure if they have made it public.
Yeah. If someone knows about it, like we are also not sure, like as Amazon has published its own design system. Not right?
And if you want to check the material design systems used, right? Material design also has their case studies, how the other apps adopted material design system to create their own brand, like Live, Genuine, NPR, all these things. So you can find their case study page. And if you really like one particular design system, like these are the sensible defaults, but these defaults might not be very suitable for you or your team, then it's just a normal research thing. Is a particular design system available in the market? What is the license? Can you really use that design system? Have they made that public? The performance factors, testability, customization. You can, this is sensible series of sensible decisions. Right? And then a sensible default for your custom needs. Okay, these are the references that we used for our presentation. These are the some of the licenses and NPM repositories.
We are open for questions.
Pune or
Gurgaon office. Any quick questions?
We have one. We have one from Pune. Okay, just a second.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe one of the questions that maybe folks would have is normally if we are building a personal site, maybe a portfolio or a blog site, then we would not want to have a very heavy site or even to rely on a design system because our intent might be slightly different. So in such cases, what should be the approach that we should go with? Should we maybe the investment that we are giving in creating a new design system might be a bit too much because I'm focusing on my content, or maybe we can think of it from point of just a solo developer, So in such scenarios, do design systems matter, or should we actually focus on it at all? Not sure if I was audible fully.
Yeah, you're not completely audible, but the gist I got was if you are to develop a personal website, what is the approach we should take? Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. So it depends on the platform you are hosting your personal website. If it is on Google or any other platform, yeah, material design system is a good one. Or there are other websites which provides personal portfolios. Their design system or material design system is good to go. You can maybe customize it according to your personal branding. If you don't like some colors, you prefer one style on another, you can make those changes properly here. Oops.
Is it audible? Shall we repeat? Is it clear?
I guess that was it.
Okay.
Hello.
Any other questions? Gurgaon office?
There is one from Bangalore.
Questions? No
Okay,
questions from Gurgaon.
There's one question from Bangalore office.
As per CAP theorem, consistency, availability, and partition tolerance. Where would the partition tolerance will fit into your category as per your design systems?
Were you able to get that?
Partition tolerance. Yeah, as per CAP theorem, yes, consistency, availability are the key designing factors as such. And how would you fit partition tolerance in this? Yes.
Yeah. So the design system is for consistency.
I guess the question is how, according to the CAP theorem, how will you apply partition theory tolerance in your design system? So mostly I'll say like the CAP theorem is applicable for like data sources. Like for design systems, it's already there like in your package in your like a UI code base. So yeah, it's like a sort of a library which like Rajendra was also mentioning, like it's been packaged. So when you're packaging your like a UI code, right? So that's been there, like it's maybe as a dependency. So there is, I think you don't have to maintain or like the CAP theory, you don't have to worry about that here. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There's one question I think I want to put up in the audience, and I want some answers to it. So I think most of you in your career would have seen that you start a project with some design system, let's say material design, and suddenly you realize that, oh, just because the library was available, I have started using it, but the actual philosophy of my product is not around designs, not around material. So you just ends up customizing it a lot more than you should. Have you ever faced that challenge in your design system or in your products? Any experience with that, and how do you think is a better approach in such instances?
I guess it's a question for audience.
Yeah, like just open question to everyone.
No one wants to understand? Answer that?
Use case before, but like I couldn't also like find any solutions with it. Because whenever we start with a design system which is already present in the market, then we usually don't find it suitable for all the components or all the things which we want personally for our brand. So I'm not sure if it could have a sensible default as such, because we always have to start with something which is already available and then pivot to something which we want to develop. So not sure like what could be a possible end to this.
I can add 2 cents from my end. So I generally look at the designs in place. Then I look at if there are complex elements in the design system. When I say complex elements, it is mostly around functionality related things. Anything that, say for an example, simple text box, right? Do we have to have a like animation to that? Am I audible?
Yes. Jagat, speak a bit loudly.
Is it better now?
Yeah, a bit loudly.
Okay. So what we generally do is I look at the design system and see what is the most complex thing, or what is the trend in which the design system is evolving. And then I try to see if that matches to one of the things that is currently available, or else I would like to go ahead with own design system and then try to evolve around what is required. One more thing I want to add, which I have been doing in my past experience. So whenever I use any third party, which can be replaceable, always build an abstraction layer. So for example, if you want to use a button component, you just put a wrapper over the material component, which does nothing. It's just abstraction. In future, if you want to change the implementation, you don't need to really worry about that. I have a past experience which started with the existing frameworks or the design system. And over a period of time, if you have to change with the abstractions, it becomes simpler. And the approach wise, you look those components, those are mostly used. For example, if I take the example of date picker, correct? It's not very frequently used. Comparatively, button, text box, you start with this, or typography, iconography, spacing. That's how you can do things parallelly.
Is it okay to mix some of these design systems and make our own? Is it like legally okay, or is it that you have to use only one in one?
No, it is okay to mix design systems, but see, design systems have their own principles. They have set of pillars. It is now the decision if you want to mix those, and will that decision.
So has anybody tried it and have experience whether it works, doesn't work? What happens when we mix things? So, like for example, if I like a button of same material, but something else of some other design system, right? If I just create one of my own, which is like pieces from here and there,
technically no blocker, yes.
That wouldn't be a good thing to do in our experience. Like if you're mixing multiple design systems, that in my understanding, that means your designers has not explored the product much.
So if you are even mixing two design systems, right? Even with the abstraction layer, you are combining two design systems. Build size itself will be doubled. Now both the design systems will be included, and you won't have that consistent experience, right?
So like there is one button or maybe another thing is coming. So the pillars are different, right? So maybe you are ending time in managing both the design systems.
Yeah.
Again, apart from build size and everything.
I guess there's one more idea called as something like design guilds comes into the system, like where so design is not only a developer's responsibility. It actually flows from your product then designers to developers, like a very naive way. So there has to be a forum where all come together and decide what should our design system for a product should look like, and then move to the developer to implement that design system. And that is where you find out which design system is a perfect fit for our product. Or do I need an abstraction on top of that? Maybe I can use material directly, but I need some customization for few of the elements on top of that. So that is where I think one of the questions you have. This is how it can work out. There's one more question from Pune. This is Rishabh.
Yeah. So the comment was before choosing the design system, like there is a design language as well. First, you decide what is the design language, and whatever design system fits in your language, you can check the most appropriate design system, and you can maybe customize that design system on top of that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is on whether or not to.
So what are typography, color palettes, or the grid system and all? So that is design language. The principles.
So
Can you hear from Pune? There's a question from Pune.
Hey, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is whether or not to adopt or adapt a design system. So when we talked about Amazon, right, it's a huge system, like it's used by a huge user base. So when we are talking about a system which is already adapted by other users, such a large user base, do you think it's a good idea to shift such a system to a new design system, or let's say create a design system out of it?
So you are asking, I'm just repeating, like when to move from adopt to adapt or create new. Like, is it like that?
Yes, very specifically for systems which have a large user base or have already been adapted by the users.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not able to
Like
get that
last
question.
part, like not able to hear you clearly.
So let's say we are talking about Amazon, right? Do you think it's a good idea to create a design system out of for Amazon if they don't have it?
Vishal, would you like to convey the question to Priyanka and Rajendra?
So the question is that, so let's say you have a big brand already like Amazon, which have their own design system running in. So, or if they don't have their own design system, so but from our first slides, we were able to recognize that. So, is it a good idea for such a brand to move to a design system, a totally new branding or a totally new design system, when they already have a huge user base to their product?
Again,
Was it clear now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Again, that is a decision on design guild. The product, the business, how they want to change. If the branding is changing, then yeah, it is up to design guild to make some changes to the design system. It's completely up to business.
And I will say, like Amazon, like having a very big systems, many teams running parallelly, right? It's good to have like a single design system there, which might be like originally inclining with their brand. And then maybe if we are changing a brand, maybe we can adapt the design system.
Yeah. And there's one more point. The design system is not the set and done, right? Design system is also evolving always.
Right.
Now, there is a concept of design tokens as well, newly coming in market, or it's already present, it's been used by many. So this sets some set of basic variables. So in atomic design pattern, we started from atom, right? So before that, we can call it as ions or particles. So those design tokens, if you are passing while building your app, then according to that, you can change some of the design system parameters, change the look and feel, change the grid sizing and all those things. Like we saw in material design, we can update the design system according to our needs, according to our branding. The same way, you can use design tokens as well. The existing design system, whatever we have, we don't have to rework from the scratch to build a completely new design system. Design system evolves, but how are we supporting that evolution also matters.
It's something, a living thing, like which is like going and there in your organization, being used by everybody. It makes sense, like to have a design system, like a big organization like Amazon. Yeah. I hope we have answered your question, like there in Pune office.
Yeah, it's a thumbs up from him, so all good.
There was some conversation, like I just want to say one more thing, like when to adopt, adapt, and new. We can actually go via the timeline that's been shown, like maybe starting with you can adopt a design system, slowly adapting it, and then you're coming to creating a new. So having said that, thank you so much for hearing us. And we would like to answer more questions like offline maybe, and maybe in the Unfold UI session for the day. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.